Yeah, Fate's Edict is what it's called, right? Which is all the more ironic because the Diabolic Edict is physical damage, so it's the Fate's Edict, which gives you magic resistance, does not help you against that at all.
Dire team ban.
But hey, in this game it's going to be the 4 position with the Abba and the 5. That seems pretty clear right now. Brewmaster in the offlane. Lone Druid can go mid, but it can also just be the 1 position. So there's a tiny bit of flexibility there on paper. So NiP, go for the Ace PA. I kind of like that. Again, you have that. You generally have that backup with the Oracle. It is one of these heroes that can scale quite nicely. That can also just
5 seconds remaining.
kind of take over a game more or less. You need to get her to the point where she starts critting and starts one-shotting people. In this game, though, I mean, Brewmasters tend to get quite tanky. Same as Lone Druid. Abba has his ultimate. Leshrac is always going to be vulnerable to that. Right after, I mean, if he gets a Yules, he can maybe buy himself some time. But even then, like, there's always the chance of a freak big crit dagger being thrown into your face, which actually just one-shots you. Beyond that, though, I mean, there's not too much reliable control for the final tribe. Brewmaster ultimate, sure. Beyond that, Leshrac's done. Without a setup, it's very unreliable. Let's see if they want to pick up a hero that can deal with that later down the line. Now the last band's coming through. NiP still looking for... That's a good question. I guess the offlaner? If Tiny is that 4 position, I don't think you want to run him as a 3. It seems unlikely. Enigma still in the pool, if you want to go down that route.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I'll just have to wait and see. Not entirely sure what they want to go for here. Nyx's Assassin actually has been completely ignored. Still the Bat Rider, I guess, for 33. Not the best in this game because of the Abba.
Radiant team pick.
Alright. No Terrorblade? Okay, I can see that. Terrorblade is one of these heroes, like, it's pretty good against PA just because you have so much armor to work with. So even if PA goes for the Desolator build and whatnot, he's not going to be able to burst you down all that quickly. At least not as the game goes later. Like, Terrorblade tends to scale much better.
10 seconds
so
remaining.
taking away that possible late game insurance on top of the Lone Druid. Certainly a good call. There's a Tidehunter. Alright, the good old 3/3 Tidehunter, I would assume. Being thrown in that offlane. The final tribe should be fine if they just sent the Lone Druid there. And you can pick up another Meteor against the Razor. I don't think you want to run that Druid against Razor in mid. Doesn't really make much sense.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds
And you have 2 different units, so you can always static link the bear. But then you can still technically last it with the actual hero. It's kind of nullifying the advantage that you normally have on the Lone Druid, which is like, what, 2 units with 50 or 60 damage each, to be able to use both to secure last hits. Of course, giving damage to the Razor means that he can also last it much more easily himself. So that advantage is not really as powerful in that particular lane, but you only have a few more seconds to decide on a hero. Could be the Timbersaw. Alright, I did not see that one coming, but it's seems pretty decent. I mean, if you talk about lockdown, still not a lot more on Final Tribe now. Timbersaw doesn't really bring in anything unless he wants to go for an Atos, which could help. But the same can be said for NiP. You have got a bit of a root from Oracle, tiny with the Avalanche, but beyond that, the Ravage, I guess, yeah, but that's a big ultimate. And more importantly, where's the Magic Burst gonna come from? I mean, Tiny has a bit, Oracle as well to some extent. What Ultimate needs to do to withstand that is build a Hood. And then it's gonna be very hard to kill indeed. Alright. I kinda like this draft. NiP though, they've got a few things going for them as well, of course. They've got a lineup that can build some momentum around the Razor, buy some space for the Phantom Assassin until Ace is ready to take over and start critting people to death. And if you're far enough ahead, even a Timbersaw is not an unkillable prospect anymore, but I think these lanes should be alright. One way or the other. And there's always a Brewmaster factor, right? Not just that, I mean, Brewmaster, Abba, these kind of heroes allow you to win fights in the mid game. Certainly with Timbersaw as well, if he gets off to a decent start, get some levels, maybe 1 or 2 mana region items. So you have a lot of burst damage to work with, you've got a lot of team fight control in that particular phase. And the Leshrac, what that hero allows you to do is also take down objectives very, very easily on the back of these small little skirmishes. I do want to favor Final Tribe in this one, just draft-wise. We'll see if they can pull it off, or whether they can get to throw it again. Who knows?
Prepare for battle.
Gonna send Chessie towards the mid lane. Might want to give over a few of these items towards the bear though.
Have a little humility.
Does mean Timbersaw up against the Tidehunter. Or unless NiP will mix things up a little bit more. We'll see how they want to adjust once they see what these lanes are. Not gonna see it for a while here, at least in the top lane. Frost hiding inside the trees, as is common. And Exhibit and Hanskin actually going in deep. I mean, the slow from the Brewmaster, if you can get a Thunderclap off, that could be a good enough setup for the split off. Oh man, that's a very deep Observer Ward. What are you gonna do with that? I mean, I guess it does help you for these. Yeah, this gives you some sense of security if you want to go for these early pulls. Just pick up a creep wave behind the tier 2 and then just drag it wherever. Yeah, I don't know.
The battle
Seems a bit odd considering that there's no jungle or anything to keep track of. Either way, it is what it is. Frost. Just 2 shared tangos himself. Slightly unusual, but I guess it's all the region that he needs. As PPD, he's going in very deep here. Exhibit sees the rotation from him up towards the top lane. The supports are down already in position, so these last hits and the experience won't really go to waste as much. Unless you miss the last hits, which is a different story altogether. But I don't want to match up Timbersaw up against the Titan, so you can then leave that pretty much alone. And try and maybe put on some extra pressure on the PA up top, but they're already TPing through. NiP making that same move again. They're the first ones to TP, which means that Final Tribe, they can just match that immediately if they want to. So far, they're not actually showing Ace. At least not the bottom 33. Super freaking low, actually. They get the first blood era with the nuke. Frost. Push back. He actually went for the Q first. Still no reactive armor to help him out, but he's far enough away. He has one shared tango going, but Era, as long as he hangs around. Of course, Mistcall is not just a nice little nuke, but it's also a nice little heal at the same time. Oh, that was a good play, though. That was sick. That was so sick, actually. Saxa. Canceling that teleport. Now Hanskin left his own devices and does have to verify. Another one available in the second. Extra heals from Purifying Flames. PPD would have gotten it if he can maintain division, but Not quite enough. Hanskin, I guess he's happy, right? He's a Koldash now. To level 2. But damn, poor Frost. One position player at level 1, 2 minutes into the game. To take the long way up towards the top lane because he TP bottom. The TP top was cancelled. That's one way to win the musical lanes, right? But hey, he's up there now with the self-deny somewhere. It's always nice. One of the advantages that Abba actually has. I mean, you can often, if you get gone on, maybe you can get the deny on yourself in these early phases. You can always just do that on creeps to get back home without actually having to take the long way towards the tier 2, and more importantly, without giving even just a little bit of money over to the other team. Hanskin, stun off the mark. Does an okay amount of damage here towards the Tide Hunter, but he is beefy enough that level 1 Edict will not really kill him off. Certainly not with this massive nerf that it received. From 11 down to 8. It was put from 9 to 11 and then from 11 down to 8. It's like... Thanks, Iceberg. But yeah, Saxa, okay, there's a stun. Hans can make the rotation at bottom. Tiny Flash King Zibber low and another nuke from PPD will make this a 1-for-1 trade. But hey, it's fine. Hanskin is a core, right? Did he get the kill? He did. Just adapting to the situation, as it were. But yeah, mid lane going as well as you would expect for the Razor, at least. 23 and 8, 13 and 0 of the Lone Druid. A lot of work, and yeah, gotta be very careful with the spare chassis. 20 seconds until the resummon comes in, but if Fata gets a snipe on that, it's 300 gold. That is worth more than a kill at this stage in the game, for sure. Still connecting Tiny, Edicts. There's a couple of creeps to tank it up, but Saxa should end up dropping here to Hanskin, so we got a bit of help from Era. As a result, not enough nukes, and also has 15 stick charges accumulated, or 1 charges, I guess. So he should be fine no matter what, up to level 4. So now, trying to get these lanes that they wanted, you know, the 1v1 up top, Frost catching up in levels rapidly because of it, even ahead of the Titan now. And down bottom there's this 3v3, Hanskin, get the Edict off, for now he's being healed up. As Fata rotates in, the stun does connect. He was down actually, his arrow also ended up dropping. Ace, very low indeed, but Xibber, can he keep up? He cannot. Stick charges bring him back up to full, but damn. Nice rotation from Fata. It does give Chassis some room to breathe. Some room to catch up in mid, but... Kill, getting the bounty runes too, but it's still 2 for 2 trade in the end. No harm, no foul, and now rotation from Hanskin. He's been able to make quite a bit of stuff happen already, and the stun does connect on top of the root. A bit unfortunate there, but hey, should still be a kill with the Edict. Hanskin's been jumping so freaking low, the Savage Roar. And he's still alive, actually. Oh, no. If they knew that it got on the root, they could have chained up that stun afterwards. Maybe that would have been enough to finish off the Razor as it stands. Final tribe. With an unfortunate situation, fueling Fata up even more. Chassis at this point. Yeah, I can always just TP the bear back, heal up.
Dominating, I guess.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
PP and Saxa. He was looking for a mid gank, but he was coming back, finds Era instead. Relatively easy kill early on if he doesn't have the big levels. As a support, naturally you don't really get that all that quickly. Frost up top is Fata. He found himself a new home perhaps. I don't know what he's doing, but he's taking a lot of damage. In more ways than one, as it turns out. Frost doesn't have the Timber chain just yet though. If he did, Fata might have actually been dead here with Nice little angle. Quick timber chain into another Q, into Chakram. So yeah, Frost is back on track of where he wants to be at least. So that's something for Final Tribe to be happy about. Xibber also closing in on that level 6. And Chessie hasn't died yet, so and he's faster rotating back and forth, like he's getting some space in mid too, and this is all that you're looking for. I mean, having these kind of heroes, or having Lone Druid in particular, you're looking for a bit of a later timing. There's Frost. Alright, Donald doesn't have a lot of stacks right now. From the reactive armor, he's trying to TP out, but Saxo was there, ready to cancel it. Should be that Timbersaw, and it is indeed. Oracle dies at the same time elsewhere. Killing spree ended actually. It was hilarious. But hey, Xibber, with his range creep, should get his level 6. He's not quite there just yet. Could use this to be very aggressive. Hanskin coming back. There it is. Nice little stun. PPD isolated with the Edict. Should pretty much be a solo kill. Arrow's there to help out just a little bit. And hey, with the split committed. Oh wow, Ace! Oh, the thing doesn't... Good to know. Blur does not pop against Broodlings. I did not know that. So that's a bit of a waste, honestly.
Double damage.
At least Ace is not farming. He's multi being back up top, where it's perhaps a little bit safer. Fata already working away at the tier 1 tower there. Where's Frost? At least he's just... Oh no, he's there now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Can't really threaten him. Mid lane though. Looking for 33. Chessie sends in the bear, but sends him back out as he sees Saxa slowing it down. Both teams, or mostly just Final Tribe, they're perfectly happy to just poke and prod and try and leverage this early tankiness that they have. And in the meantime, just continue to try and get CS. Maybe get a pick off on Fata here. Frost does have Soul Ring, does have stick charges, but he's not fast enough to catch up to the Razor. Max out passive, yeah. Speedy Gonzalez right there. Hey, they kept the tier 1 tower alive. They're just into 9 range right now. So could be coming in strong. But yeah, Final Tribe perfectly happy to just go for these pokes and prods, and all of that is creating a lot of space. Chessie is going for the Midas build-up. There's no super quick Radiance, but he's gonna have that eventually. If everything goes well from this point, around 20, at the 20-minute mark perhaps still. 20 to 25 at the latest. Oh, Saxa. Gotta give it to them though, and gotta give it to NiP in general too. Just fighting around these boundary runes, always finding just a bit extra, you know. It's just a support ABBA kill. But that's helpful nonetheless. Frost does have a decent amount of armor charges, but 3 heroes around him, nowhere to go. Perfect timed avalanche to interrupt that timber chain, so they will still get the kill. Same time down bottom, PPD in a bit of trouble. Ults himself actually. Edict still going like he should have an just stun missing.
Radiant's bottom tower
He actually have enough actually had enough heals. Seems good.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Don't actually get to deny up top. That's pretty awkward. So it's a 1-4 trade, tier 1 for tier 1. One that you see so often. Frost still looking for a new home. Now he's joining up with Chessie and Era and mid. Now they have a catapult, they have the bear at max level, so the demolish will help you shoot through that one quite nicely. NiP, I mean, they have the Ravage. They have enough mana for it here with a bottle charge, so they could potentially take a fight. But that's the entirety of TFT here, so probably not worth it. Not quite ready with the damage dealers. Razor is not in a fighting shape right now. There's always going to be the Brewmaster ultimate. So NiP still got to play for time. More than the Final Tribe does, for sure. So, PPD against Hanskin, round number what? 2, 3, 4? This time no ult though.
desolation.
Took him all the mana that he had, but hey. A kill's a kill. Now, TP's to the shrine. Frost doesn't really need it,
Dire's
but
middle tower is under attack.
Hanskin will certainly be ready to go again now. He's maxed out Edict. There's nothing to underestimate for that. And that beam smoking it. Avalanche on Era. He still doesn't have his ultimate actually, so goodbye you. Chessie hanging around. Savage Roar keeps Fat away, but Hanskin in the middle of that. Oh, okay. Not sure about this Ravage.
Middle tower is
He
under
catches the
attack.
Brewmaster on top of the hero that was dead anyway, but Ace, that's a big target here. If you can burst him down, you can indeed. Chessie finds the last hit. Ace was abandoned by the rest of the team actually. PPD now finds himself in the front line, slowed down a little bit instantly with the ult on him. He has enough heals going.
Dominating
Never mind. This is orb indicator. It was black, then it turned into the other color, but I don't know. I'm not sure how reliable that is actually.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
In any case, it's going to be another tier 1.
Fortified.
Final try, just outnumbering them up top. Nice catch on Ace, and no tower denied. The Bear's just way too powerful even at this stage now. Might be even getting more. The root on the Saxa. Look at this damage. Yikes. They're just punching their way through right
Radiant's
now. And
top tower is under
now they're
attack.
here on the sidelines, and they don't quite have a creep wave yet, so. But they are hanging around to want to take the tier 2 as well. There's a glyph, so an edict will be tanked up, one would imagine. But it's nothing real to stop them, certainly considering there's no Ravage,
Is
there's
under attack.
no Aether's quite yet. Ace also far from any useful items.
Are fortified.
Make him feel comfortable joining into these fights. He's going for the Battle Furies, it's going to be a while until he gets there. So how far can Final Tribe actually take
Radiant's
this?
top tower
Because they're not
is
leaving.
fallen.
50-minute high ground push? Hoorah!
Dire's
I
middle
mean,
tower is under
only minus on the Bear, but he's still hitting hard and fast. Frost. He's pretty much unkillable here if he has enough reactive armor. So yeah, with the Edict, they go for some damage here. Final split being used. Sibber just to secure this tower push. They're gonna get a 14.5 minute tier 3 tower. They're not stopping here. Stun over on Razor, lift up the Titan. There's still no Ravage for 20 seconds actually. And all of this just to buy space. They want to get the melee racks, but they realize, alright, maybe not enough damage, not enough time. Saxa with the Avalanche, trying to toss somebody back, but might just get the Bear here, which is good. 300 gold for 33. What's his next item? Already finished up the blast.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
But then, oh, this is hanging around 33. What are you doing? The stun connects! Oh no, he had no idea. He had no idea. Sorry, he says, yeah.
Radiant's
Can
top
now do as
shrine
well
under
is
attack.
rock away the shrine. Hanskin, he's actually missed out on an opportunity perhaps to use the remnants of that edict to help with the shrine, but either way this one's gonna go down. Final Tribe was complete departure from game number 1. This time they just put the pedal to the metal immediately.
Top shrine has
It
fallen.
was like, oh yeah, I mean, we don't have too many items, but neither do they, and we have good abilities, we have good levels. We can leverage that, and this early tier 3 taking on the shrine so early on in the game, it's so significant. No easy Roche TP spot. Top lane of Rax exposed. If you lose a skirmish, of Ravages and cooldown again, perhaps. Gonna lose some more buildings. Another thing, all of these objectives going down this early on just supercharges the Lone Druid in his quest for a Radiance. He's 3.5k gold in the bank right now. 16 minutes into the game, on top of the minor, so that's gonna help him even further. Then NiP, they need to try and find a way into this somehow, but still, he's pretty damn tanky. 15 seconds until the old era also hanging around this general area. Like, they claim control of the side jungle right now. PPD's walking up, but he's walking straight back down again. He wants a D-ward, and well, we will find it. That's not the Ethos now. Hanskin, okay, he's taking a lot of damage here to stun. Does connect in the end, gets the Edict off as well. Fata gonna take a lot of damage in return. And with Frost there to take over. That's gonna be enough damage. That was not worth it at all. 40 seconds. Raise on the sidelines. There's no edict to bring down towers. Jesse somewhere else. He really wants to finish up the Radiance before next big push, but damn. It's 40 seconds while Raze is not farming. Saxa, he got himself a Blink Dagger though. I mean, he's got a pretty good early game. So that'll certainly be helpful in just giving them some more options, right? Just if Final Tribe are out of position, maybe you can get a Link toss back or just the upper toss combo just to try and burst somebody down. But that goes back to what I said in the draft. Like, who do you actually burst down here? Hanskin is the only one that's susceptible to that, really. Go for the smoke. He's hanging around here. Final Tribe, that kind of split up a little bit. Jesse. Ooh. Gonna be too late, aren't they? Yeah, enough money for the Radiance. Gonna buy it up immediately. And they're not even collapsing in this bottom lane. They saw the bear. I should have seen the bear, but let's see the Jesse now. Find the ADOS and find some damage. It should be that bear, most likely. Oh, okay, Saxa. Never mind, they just let it go. They thought that, hey, maybe Final Tribe sitting behind there, or maybe we just need to defend our freaking tier 2 tower mid. 33. Being mauled at by this Jesse Panda. Can't see any of that. Roche could also be on the menu. Or perhaps also Fata. Oh. He is fast. Is he fast enough? That's a big question. There's no good initiation really here. Like Hanskin, yes, is Atos, but all that we're really looking for was the Shrine. And perhaps a tier 2. You do have Hanskin working on the wave, ready to push that one out. So being very systematic once again. They've got that big item. So now they're asserting dominance on the Radiant side of the map. And NiP and NiP, they're not ready to really fight here, are they? I mean, Ace has the Desolator. Shifted that from the Battle Fury. Is certainly necessary here to try and have something coming your way. So you can imagine a fight where there's a Medallion of Courage. They're going for these value items, you know. You can certainly imagine when there's a fight with a Ravage. Last Medallion somebody. Ace jumps in and try and burst somebody down.
A tithe to the impurities. Illusion.
It's gonna be hard, but it's not impossible. You would also need the Oracle though. I mean, PPD even... I didn't see that happening, but he also altered himself by the looks of it. And that's a long cooldown on level 1. I mean, they even upped that by 15 seconds recently. Yeah, from 100 to 115, so he might be back, but it's not going to be back for another minute. Certainly helpful for TFT to consider. Still working away at Roche. They have a Medallion of their own on Sybil by the looks of it. Yeah. Still taking them quite a while. Between the four of them. Okay, NiP. I think it might be just a little bit too late. Unless they blink in right the hell now. Xibber with the instant ult. Not off to the side. Roshan goes down now. And I think NiP, they have to do the Delta split, but that ultimate going forward here. They can lift up PPD at least. They don't see Ace. Again, the blow not actually break into just hand this. Gonna get this one kill. 33. What the hell are you doing here, Saxa? It's gonna provide some help. They're gonna try and bring down Chassis, but he's so healthy. He's so tanky. Fata needs to start seeing some damage, but Chassie's just seeping out. The root comes through from the bear, and Chassis realizes, wait a second, we can just win this fight. We can just team wipe them right here. NiP, they took the fight that they thought they could win, and then they realized, wait a second, that didn't work at all. The triple kill to round it out. After game 1, that was so freaking crazy, so silly, so so tough to watch if you're a Final Tribe fan. Game number 2 was just complete beatdown. A draft win. Final Tribe, they knew about the timing window, they took it, and NiP, they were not ready for that at all. Another way to say it, I mean, just leveraging this early push power, even before the launch, it really has the big items that make the bear super scary. Even before that, we're just turning 1 or 2 small little pickoffs into a tier 3 tower. 14.5 minutes into the game, and well, kudos to them. Certainly quite the response after that kind of a start to the series. So now 1-1, both on match point, NiP or Final Tribe. One of them will move on, but the other one will be knocked out of these major qualifiers. We'll find out who in game number 3 coming up next. Stay tuned.